elections being held across the UK. In England, more than 4,000 councillors across 156 councils are up for election, while several mayoral elections are also taking place. In Wales, meanwhile, voters are going to decide in all of its more than 1,200 council seats across its 22 local authorities. And in Scotland too, all of its more than 1,200 seats are also up for grabs across all 32 of its councils. The Irish voters will choose their government with all 90 members of the Northern Ireland Assembly being decided. In Westminster. These elections are very important, aren't they, for the government?
Yeah, as you say, there's plenty of voters going on, plenty of seats are up for grabs, and we've seen the political leaders from the major parties out today casting their vote. Boris Johnson, the leader of the Conservative Party, the Prime Minister, was accompanied by his dog Dylan this morning as he cast his vote not too far from where I'm standing here in Westminster. Sir Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party, with his wife Victoria, as they cast their vote in Tandem, and so are David, with the Democrat leader who was West London increasing the
he got the 4 wheels in the car.
Throughout the course of the day, as we wait to hear the results as they come in. I hope it started quite early, it's 7 o'clock this morning that we're going on today, and they usually open until 10 p.m. tonight. They won't be until tomorrow until we get a note through. We're on the 7th of how today.
Westminster, thank you. Investigators have determined that the gas and other fuel boat accident in Norfolk Broads could have been prevented. Laura Kelly was on a motor cruiser with her family in August 2020. She fell overboard and drowned after having caught in the column. She would have been unlikely to have fallen if a better guardrail had been in place on the back of the boat. The wife of the former Premier League midfielder Ted Huddleston told the court today she feared masked robbers might kill her after they bound her with cable ties in the road at their home. 3 men were accused of stealing Huddleston's cafe cup medal and gave him
Cracker! He got the Formula 1 car.
What?
That guy who was on the way.
He didn't actually probably spot it.
Delays in passport applications. It gets even worse. Unions say another surge in demand is floating down people.
Look at that say.
Sammy! Here, what you quick?
I think wait, internet.
Long queues today as Britain's
Go, slow motion.
became increasingly visible. Some here turned up in desperation.
We're going on holiday. It's just complete nightmare. I'll be down to
He's so annoying.
6 stages on the train.
Can't do it, no. Don't apply for passports here, look. Crisis about them. Saying,
Many call them the
backlogs for renewals. Could take months.
That's why the Canadians don't choose them after themselves so long before you get the other man.
Well, we have plenty of July, so hopefully I should get it by then. But these are all about renewals.
They should have been prepared, they should have had their training ready, they should have had staff ready to go in.
If you're playing it, don't miss about
Due to a surge in demand, the Passport Office advises people to allow 10 weeks for standard applications.
10 weeks?
He's spoken to some who've waited much longer, up to 16 weeks.
16?
New freedom of
Yeah, it don't matter, does it? If I send off the next
British passports due to expire before the split will end in July. Building of people who book holidays fear losing them as a result of this passport disruption. Officials say it's due to record demand as 5 million people remained applying during the pandemic. Says extra passport staff have been taken on with more healthcare workers to come. 10 years. Things to get worse.
How will that be done?
at the moment, people saying, I've got water, which is a fair surgery, open to go passport and non-stop on the passport service, and we could see a lot more of the 10-week turnaround coming up. From inside the passport office comes a woman. Don't disappoint until you have a valid passport. Like many people want to know that would be the choice you use.
The story of the pensioner now facing murder charge in Cyprus after saying he made a suicide pact with his wife. The heard in tears and causes who remembers Johnny Depp from Playroom. He put a story of kissing in the world. Why conservationists are very interested in numbers. There's blood on your car.
I mean, gladly, I've been going to pay for one of those tickets really massive resources.
And Army Live posted up what's left of the sunset here at the Spring Festival at RH10 Melbourne. We're finding out what's on offer.
Father Boyle Ratcliffe, a daughter's desperate plea for help as her father faces trial for murdering his terminally ill wife. Local court order says that Ellie House made a pact to end their lives in their Cyprus home. Janice Hunter, who's 75, was found suffocated to death just before Christmas. She had been suffering severe pain caused by blood cancer. Her husband, David Hunter, 56 years, was found collapsed behind her with chicken and overdose. He was the hospital who survived, and he was the unwavering support of his daughter, who tells her correspondent Ben Chapman she just wants him to come home to Britain. He would have done.
You asked to play it, you mess about.
He loved her completely.
Because people got more bit of cards than me, and if you got more bit of cards, then they are more faster. And I know what it's making the bad.
Gradually getting better.
To their daughter, it was the ultimate act of love. Her father, ending the suffering of her terminally ill mother.
Every time I want to start driving, but internet would automatically.
This is my house in Cyprus before my mum got ill.
For nearly 20 years, David and Janice Hunter enjoyed a blissful retirement in the Cypriot sun. But Janice had been diagnosed with blood cancer and recently had been in increasing pain.
Listen to my dad. She was in agony. He'll say now that he still has nightmares where he hears her screaming in pain because she was terminally ill and all she had was over-the-counter medication.
Then a week before Christmas, Cypriot police were called to the couple's home in Paphos. David had allegedly suffocated Janice before taking an overdose himself. But he survived and has since told Leslie
He got the call and I was like that he would take his own, so he used to be together, they wanted to go together.
How can you be sure these were your mum's wishes?
Because my dad's a good man and I left him to be left my mum.
Why do that when I got open ball, mate?
But despite her belief in her father's motives, David was soon taken into custody. He's 74 and has now spent 4 months in the island's main prison, accused of murdering his wife. Called no death.
How's your dad doing?
When I pick up the phone and it's not like, and it's just like, something, very, good second, lonely, frightened. I couldn't been touched.
Before his last court hearing, David's lawyers asked the Cypriot authorities to downgrade his murder charge to one of assisting suicide, which carries a much lower sentence. But that has so far been rejected. The issue of legalising assisted dying is being debated in Cyprus, but it faces strong opposition from its influential Orthodox Church.
There will be people in Cyprus and people here who think what your dad did was wrong and that he should be punished. What do you say to them?
life isn't black and white. Life is many, many shades of grey. When people are desperate and scared and in pain, they make decisions that you might not agree with. But a little bit of empathy can go a long way.
To make it
just stronger. So decent to spend the rest of their days in prison is just a tragedy.
She was dying, she was suffering, she was in pain.
And just let him spend the rest of his time with his family.
Janice's grave is in Cyprus, but the man who loved her for more than half a century has not been allowed to visit. If convicted, David will almost certainly die in prison. His daughter is asking the judges to afford him the same kindness she believes he showed his dying wife.
And it's just a desperately sad story, isn't it? What chance do you think is there that Leslie will get what she calls the compassion that she thinks her dad is owed?
Well, David's trial is scheduled to start on June the 16th. It could last several months. In the meantime, Leslie is having to raise money to pay for her dad's legal fees, while of course still grieving for her mum. Now, what she's been told is there was a note found at her parents' house. Incredibly, she doesn't know what it says, because it's evidence in the case that hasn't yet been disclosed to the defence team, but clearly its content could prove crucial in establishing what Janice's wishes were before she died. But that said, euthanasia, assisted dying, they remain illegal in Cyprus, and in some ways this is being seen as a test case. The trial will be heard by 3 judges, not by a jury under the system there. And I think that will make it harder for the family to appeal to that sense of compassion that Leslie is so desperate for.
Really sad, isn't it? It's incredible outcome. Thanks very much indeed for that. Okay, well, let's get an update now on what's making the news tonight. The mother of baby P, Tracy Conley, could be freed from prison within the next 2 weeks. Today, judges backed a parole board decision to release her despite a legal challenge by the government. The Bank of England has warned that inflation will hit 10% this year, warning of hardship for those on lowest incomes. The bank also raised interest rates from 0.75 to 1%. In Ukraine, fighting is ongoing in the city of Mariupol, where the Russian army is trying to wipe out the remaining defenders there. Taking the Azov steel plant would complete the Russian capture of that city. Until Paris close across the UK, and how long has actually stormed the centre? Because along with local elections, England, Wales and Scotland. The US and Amber Heard have been giving evidence the second day about what she says is the verbal and physical abuse she suffered at the hands of her former husband, Johnny Depp. She said their relationship had become a constant battle, as she put it, and she described an incident on an aircraft where she says Depp threw things and kicked her in front of her friends. And US correspondent Emma Murphy has the latest.
As a 22-year-old no-name actress, she thought it was a love like no other. At 36, she and the world know otherwise. When they met, Johnny Depp was twice Amber Heard's age, with a name known around the world and a reputation to match.
And then he had ashes on his shoulders.
Now they are on either side of the courtroom, their relationship part of a case which at times sounds more like a movie than a life.
My dad told me, Johnny has asked me permission for your hand in marriage. And I felt like the luckiest woman in the world.
Yet soon she'd be taking photos of her passed out lover in the hope the images would encourage him to be sober and less violent. She told the court of being attacked on his private plane.
My back was turned to him, and I feel this boot in my back. It just kicked me in the back. fell to the floor. I caught myself on the floor, and I just felt like I was looking at the floor of the plane for felt like a long time. And I thought to myself, I don't know what to do. I can't believe he just kicked me. No one said anything. No one did anything. It was like you could hear a pin drop on that plane. You could feel the tension, but no one did anything.
She then recorded him wailing.
I kicked that ball.
I was telling myself I needed to leave him, and he continued to drink, and then eventually started howling like an animal and passed out in the bathroom. And I at some point pushed record on my phone.
Deb testified he was never violent. Amber Heard says his violence and control was a constant in their lives. Emma Murphy, ITV News in the United States.
Next night, you might think getting fewer squash bugs on your cauldrons tin or another plate might be a good thing, but conservationists fear that it might show a worrying peak of insect decline across our entire planet. A citizen science project found a number of flying insects was falling by
You didn't even touch that ball, but me will touch it.
We wanted to think any tips on why bugs matter.
They are creeping, crawling and flying amongst us. These creatures are small, but the part they play in our lives is not, and their world is fragile. Each year there are fewer and fewer insects in Britain. Farmer Stephen Briggs knows how vital bugs are for his cereal and fruit crops, which in turn become our food.
Growing crops of any kind, we need insects to fulfill the role of pollination, because they're crucial to maintain the productivity of our crops, and therefore the profitability of the farm, and therefore our livelihoods.
Research indicates there's been a sharp decline in insect populations between 2004 and last year. In Scotland, the numbers reported fell by 28%, while in Wales they were down 55%. And England saw the biggest drop in insect numbers, a 65% decrease.
So get out there, splatometer.
And this is how that data's been collected. Thousands of volunteers recorded how many bugs hit their registration plate during car journeys. Matt's been investigating why insects are struggling to survive.
They just can't travel safely through a landscape, so many pesticides, light pollution and other forms of harm that we've created. And we've got to tackle the whole range of those issues to really fix this, which is a big part.
But it's not an impossible one. This farmer's seen insects return after planting trees alongside crops to create corridors where nature can take over. This is part of the solution. Areas of land completely left alone to become homes for insects. In a couple of weeks' time, this patch of the farm will be completely covered in wildflowers. But more of these untamed havens need to grow.
Are you playing it or coming off it? Which one are you doing? No, are you playing it or coming off it?
People are watching women's sport than ever before, according to a leading charity. Research by Women's Sport Trust found nearly 18 million viewers tuned into coverage over the first 3 months of 2022. That's up from around 6.5 million over the same period last year. Andy Murray has pulled out of his match against the world #1 Novak Djokovic at the Madrid Open. Murray was scheduled to play in the third round tie after beating Canada's Denis Shapovalov, but had to cancel due to illness. It's really been a remarkable week of European football for British clubs, and the drama's set to continue tonight. Rangers and West Ham could both make it through to the Europa League final. The Hammers are away to Frankfurt, and Rangers are at home to Leipzig. Reporter Louise Scott is at Ibrox for us tonight. So Louise, how big a night is this then for Rangers?
It's huge for the club and for the fans. 14 years since they were last in a European final. So it's like a nerve, doesn't it? You're confident for fans arriving here tonight. If you're in a good position, there's just one goal down going into the second leg, and of course home here at Ibrox, which they're hoping to use to their advantage. Tough opponents, however, they're up against RB Leipzig. But to get here, they've had beaten up Dortmund and Red Star Belgrade. It's also been a tough decade for the club. They were relegated to the lowest division, then had to work their way back to the top, last season becoming Scottish champions. So all of this is making fans feel confident, but tonight I spoke to some of them as they arrived.
Yeah, absolutely buzzing for it. I can't wait for it to get started. Yeah, felt like having a game tonight and get a chance to European finals.
I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I want us to win, but I am nervous.
How are you feeling ahead of tonight's game?
Gets confident.
Confident? What kind of score are you thinking tonight?
3-0.
3-0 to Rangers?
Yeah.
Confident they're going to go through to the final then?
Yeah.
Well, if they did win 3-0, that Boyer predicted, then they could be up against another British side in the final. West Ham are also in a semi-final match tonight. Now, they lost 2-1 at home to Frankfurt. They are now away, but confidence in them that it's still all to play for. Both games kick off tonight at 8 p.m, and after potentially 90 minutes, we'll find out whether it's two British teams in a final or if either of them can make it.
Thank you, Louise Scott. A slightly dodgy line there from Ibrox, but we made it. Still some before Emmerdale at 7:30. The jetpack paramedics coming to a mountainside.
And here in Malvern, it might feel like summer, but it's all about the Spring Festival. I have all the details.
Sitting John here, and Alex from Worcestershire for that after the
Morrison's, we've cut the price of lunch with over 500 new price cuts. Morrison's, make good things happen. Could be a tartan thing, a balloon thing, a corduroy thing, maybe a green thing, a rainbow thing, even a green tag thing. So ask yourself, not what's their thing, what's your thing? And we'll help find one of these things to match.
Windows and Conservatories have been manufacturing and installing energy-efficient windows for over 30 years. Our replacement thermally efficient solid tile roof means you can say goodbye to that old gold conservatory to make it a roof for all seasons and help save money on your energy bills. Call Carl on 0800-669955 for your free quote and our lowest price guarantee.
New Zoflora multi-purpose disinfectant cleaner. Cut through grease and grime with uplifting, long-lasting fragrance. All around your home. Zoflora. Kills germs instantly.
Technology and Taliban. International Hollywood government will not proceed to terrorist
invasion.
Safety. Souls.
Troops.
Civilians. Protected.
Party. Palestinians.
European crowd. Congress. Crisis. Sentence. Housing.
Volunteers. Ventilators.
Impact. Rebellions. Refugees. Unwanted. Independent. 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 Independent.
We have our word. Independent views is what we stand for.
And again, welcome back to the evening news. Now, the weather is definitely warming up, isn't it? A little bit for some of us, and tomorrow we're told could be the hottest day of the year so far. Well, lucky old Alex is soaking up the seasonal sunshine at the RHS Malvern Spring Show. And Alex, I understand you've even brought the drone out for the grand occasion.
Yes, I'm literally just enjoying the last bits of sunshine which are just about to disappear behind the Malvern Hills, which is behind the camera. But yeah, we had a lovely day here. Everyone has gone home, which is actually good news for us, but it does mean that we can put the live drone up. And if we fly over the site now, you can see how expansive it is. The show is actually 50 acres itself, and there are some absolutely stunning gardens at the spring show. and it's actually their greenest year so far. The gardens that you're looking down on, well, they're going to be repurposed, and they will show up at various hospitals, charities and hospices across the local area, which is great news. People will continue to enjoy them, and they're actually gearing up for a very special VIP visitor tomorrow. Princess Royal is going to be paying a visit here, and no doubt she will take a look at the Queen's Jubilee Garden, which is somewhere south of the showground here, and I'm telling you, it is stunning. And actually that garden will be staying here. But as I say, equally today it was just as lovely. They've had some really great weather. There were lots of people milling around, soaking up the gardens, the atmosphere, and of course some very welcome sunshine. And on the whole, it's actually good news for the spring show here because the weather is looking plenty ahead into the weekend. And of course, this is their first show since the pandemic. And earlier I caught up with the show lead, Jess Russell Perry.
One of the feature gardens actually is the Vitamin G garden, which is all about how you prescribe gardening to yourself. And then we've also got a new section for the affordable gardens, and they have all been designed. They're the average size of a front, side or back garden of a 2-bedroom house. It's been here, and we were so excited to welcome everyone back. And we've hit almost record levels with people coming today, and they brought the sunshine too, which is wonderful.
Well, Jeff mentioned the sunshine there, and I can say there's more of it to come as we head into the weekend. There's even thought that by this time next week, it could be touching 27, maybe 28. Let's take a look at the details right now.
There's a chilly tang in the air, so you may want to pop on.
That little brown sauce, mate.
I hate brown sauce.
So vinegar.
I hate it. Brown sauce now.
Mum likes it on bacon sandwich.
My cousin like it, Lily.
So vinegar.
I say like it on sausage sandwiches. Did it in 1 second.
That was quicker.
I'm trying to get through that again. Oh, that was sick. Look at it.
What was you don't stick all over it?
No.
You actually told me that plan, aren't you, Alex? Look at them on jetpack on telly, Alex. What?
Oh yeah, I know him. And he's a YouTuber. Why is the ball not going in?
I'd have to have a parachute as a spare because what if it malfunctioned?
True. But he might need it.
Yeah, but it can malfunction, stuff can malfunction, can't they? Or thingy like that, I'd have to have a, what they call it, a parachute as a backup, but then again,
that was so...
you've got to have a certain height to use a parachute.
Okay, I'm not missing.
He's a jet suit inventor. He's videoing him on his drone. Is it? I'll put your phone out.
Yes! Guys, I'm going to play Fortnite.